Alam ko po na nakatali ang kanyang mga kamay. Malaki na rin po ang kanyang sakripisyo sapagkat madalas siyang tinatawagan ni Majority Leader Sandro Marcos dahil sa aking tuloy-tuloy na kritisismo sa mga pulisiya ng Administrasyong Marcos. Policies, ulitin ko po, policies, not personal attacks.
Let us not accuse any sponsor of saying nagpapataba tayo ng mga dinastiya. And let us not accuse.
I am not accusing the majority. I'm accusing the majority leader.
Do you think that Congresswoman Janet Karin was being unfair?
Baka it's his duty to defend the administration. So, I respect that.
Because that is...
Kaya nga po, patapusin niyo ako para maikwento ko lahat. Pwede?
Yeah, but can
Kung
I,
pwede
can
lang
I
ako.
have,
Kung pwede,
can I have,
pagkatapos pwede niyo akong
can I
tanungin.
have a direct answer, Mr. Speaker?
I am
Kasi
directly answering
nakakagulat.
you. I have spoken the truth. Hindi pa po ako tapos magsalita nang ako ay sunduin ni Minority Leader Congressman Libanan at dalhin sa opisina ni Majority Leader Sandro Marcos.
Kaya niloloko nga si Nonoy Libanan dahil sinamahan niya ako sa principal's office.
Sinabi niya, hindi yon. Inaatake mo ang aking ama. At tinanong niya ako, mismo, bakit ako nagsalita ng gano'n? 65 years old na ako. 30 lang yung nagtatanong sa akin. Hindi na ako nirespeto. Kung may mali, kung may kasinungalingan, bakit hindi ako debatihin? Dito mismo. But it appears that this House leadership does not welcome criticisms. And that, Mr. Speaker, is the real problem. When the President of the Republic has a son serving as Majority Leader of this House, there is an unavoidable conflict of interest. When a son becomes overly protective of his father instead of protecting the integrity of legislation. The failure of President Marcos to protect the integrity of the 2023, 2024, and 2025 national budget. This Congress inserted and diverted some 1.45 trillion. Why did President Marcos allow this? Why did his cabinet remain silent? How could such massive diversions happen under his watch? Lalo kong nauunawaan kung gaano kalaking pandarambong sa pondo ng bayan ang naganap sa loob ng 3 taon ng Administrasyong Marcos. 2 weeks ago, may isang gabinete ang kinausap ako. Sinabi sa akin, Egay, ang tingin ng Malacanang, Sara Duterte ka. Yung mga salita mo nakakapagpalakas kay Sara Duterte. Sabi ko, mali yan, Secretary. Ang nagpapalakas kay Duterte ay ang patuloy ng mga palpak na polisiya ng Administrasyong Marcos.
Nagsasalita yung presidente na he doesn't mean what he says.
Sinabi magpapakulong December 15. Nagpakulong ba kahit isa? Sinabi ipapasa yung Independent Commission for Infrastructure na mag-iimbestiga. Pinasaba. Binola lang kami. Ang ilang datos na tila nagpapakita ng pamahalaan ay parang pinapatakbo ng isang sindikato.
It feels like that to you?
Yes.
May parang pre-martial law fears or martial law-ish fear?
Nung nakaraan
feels,
kasi, dictatorship.
Yes.
Ngayon, what's prevailing in government is not democracy, but kleptocracy. So I won't be part of it.
Is there truth to an offer for you to run for the Senate under the slate of VP Sara by Sagip Party List?
Yesterday, I was removed and replaced as Senior Deputy Minority Leader without any stated reason. But let me say this clearly. I have no bitterness about my replacement. In fact, I am honored that I was replaced by a fellow liberal and a far stronger fighter for truth and justice, Congresswoman Laila De Lima. She is a former senator, a former Secretary of Justice, and a woman who sacrificed 6 years of her life in prison for standing up against abuses in government and for speaking for the truth. If there is anyone more worthy to take my place, it is Congresswoman Laila De Lima. Papasalamat din po ako kay Minority Leader Nonoy Libanan. Alam ko po na nakatali ang kanyang mga kamay. Malaki na rin po ang kanyang sakripisyo sapagkat madalas siyang tinatawagan ni Majority Leader Sandro Marcos dahil sa aking tuloy-tuloy na kritisismo sa mga polisiya ng Administrasyong Marcos. Policies, ulitin ko po, policies, not personal attacks. Mr. Speaker, I believe that I have faithfully performed my duty as Senior Deputy Minority Leader. I have raised questions. I have spoken the truth. I have offered well-meaning criticisms in the interest of accountability. But it appears that this House leadership does not welcome criticisms. And that, Mr. Speaker, is the real problem of dynastic politics. When the President of the Republic has a son serving as Majority Leader of this House, there is an unavoidable conflict of interest when a son becomes overly protective of his father instead of protecting the integrity of legislation. Some time ago, I spoke about the failure of President Marcos to protect the integrity of the 2023, 2024, and 2025 national budget. This Congress inserted and diverted some 1.45 trillion in the national budget. This is unprecedented in the history of our country. Defunding major foreign assisted projects and even the computer-generated maintenance allocations for our national highways. Kaya nagkasira-sira na po ang ating mga major highways. Funds from the PhilHealth and the PDIC were also diverted. Money that should have protected the health and savings of our people, only to end up in ghost projects or substandard infrastructure. And so I ask, why did President Marcos allow this? Why did his cabinet remain silent? How could such massive diversions happen under his watch? Mr. Speaker, it is difficult to believe that this could happen without the knowledge, if not the tolerance, of the President himself, especially when the Speaker then of this House is his own close relative. Hindi pa po ako tapos magsalita nang ako ay sunduin ni Minority Leader Congressman Libanan at dalhin sa opisina ni Majority Leader Sandro Marcos. Pagdating po namin, nandoon na rin si Speaker Bogie D. Nakaupo po ako, tahimik ako, sinita ako ni Congressman Marcos at tinanong, ano yun? I replied that the anti-political dynasty advocacy has long been one of my advocacies. Ngunit sinabi niya, hindi yun. Inaatake mo ang aking ama. Ang sagot ko, ang kritisismo ay nakakatulong upang maituwid ang mga pagkakamali kung bukas ang isip ng mga nakikinig. Ngunit Mr. Speaker, bakit kailangan questionin ng isang miyembro ng kapulungang ito ang aking talumpati? Kung may mali, kung may kasinungalingan, bakit hindi ako debatihin dito mismo sa plenaryo? Sa aking pag-aaral, sa aking patuloy na pagtatanong, lalo kong nauunawaan kung gaano kalaking pandarambong sa pondo ng bayan ang naganap sa loob ng 3 taon ng Administrasyong Marcos. Lalo pa nang ipakita sa akin ni Congressman Leandro Libiste ang ilang datos na tila nagpapakita na ang pamahalaan ay parang pinapatakbo ng isang sindikato. I intend to discuss this further in a separate privileged speech. Mr. Speaker, every day I pray to the Lord to give me the courage and wisdom of discernment on what I should do with the responsibility entrusted to me. Madali sana para sa akin ang manahimik. Madali sana para sa akin na sumabay na lamang sa agos upang masiguro na mas tahimik ang buhay at baka manalo pa uli ako sa eleksyon sa 2028. sana para sa akin na itigil na ang laban na ito na maaring tawagin ng iba na recklessness at padalos-dalos. But there is a greater calling, something that I cannot ignore, no matter how inconvenient it may be for me and for my family. Something that I cannot close my eyes. Just like when the Lord called Abraham and said, "Go from your country and your father's home to the land that I will show you." And Abraham followed without hesitation. He followed the Lord. Even the uncertainty is unimaginable because he trusted that the Lord would guide him and that he was doing something for God and for his fellow men. For me, what I'm doing is a bit risky, but that would already be an honorable life to live despite all my weaknesses. 2 weeks ago, may isang gabinete ang kinausap ako. Sinabi sa akin, Guy, ang tingin ng Malacanang, Sara Duterte ka. Sabi ko po, nung panahon ng mga Duterte, ako yung kauna-unahan na nagsalita laban sa war on drugs. Tinanggalan pa nga ako ang distrito ng aking pondo ng 1 taon. Pero sila, Presidente Marcos, they enabled Duterte. Si Speaker Romualdez, Majority Leader, he enabled the war on drugs. Yung mga kasama natin na nagpo-prosecute ngayon kay Duterte, they enabled war on drugs. Ako po, nakipaglaban. At hindi ko po nilalabanan ang dinastiya ng Marcos lamang. Dinalabanan ko rin ang dinastiya ng mga Duterte sapagkat alam ko na ang punot dulo ng korupsyon dito sa ating bansa ay ang pataba at ngayon mabubundat ng mga political dynasties. Sabi sa akin, Guy, yung mga salita mo nakakapagpalakas kay Sara Duterte. Sabi ko, mali yan. Secretary, ang nagpapalakas kay Duterte ay ang patuloy ng mga palpak na polisiya ng Administrasyong Marcos. Sinabi magpapakulong December 15, nagpakulong ba kahit isa? Sinabi ipapasa yung Independent Commission for Infrastructure na mag-iimbestiga. Pinasa ba? Binola lang kami. Sabi, magpapasa ng isang makatotohanang anti-political dynasty. Ipa-priority. Ano nangyari? Sa halip na anti-political dynasty ang pinasa ng Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms, ito po ay pro-political dynasties. Hindi lang magpapataba, magpapabundat pa sa mga dinastiya dito sa ating bansa. Today, I bow out as Senior Deputy Minority Leader of this House. But I am even more emboldened to be a stronger voice against what is wrong with our system. I may no longer have the position. I may no longer have the committee membership. But I still have the knowledge. I still have the experience. And I have still the voice and commitment to stand against what is unjust, what is corrupt, and what is abusive. I am no longer Senior Deputy Minority Leader, but I will be the equalizer in this House. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, my colleagues, until my next privilege speech. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader.
maraming
Speaker,
salamat, Mr. Speaker.
I move to recognize the Honorable Deputy Speaker Janet Garin.
Deputy
Is my
Speaker Janet,
distinguished
Deputy
Deputy
colleague-
Speaker Janet Dillon is now recognized.
He is my distinguished colleague and a very good friend during the Aquino administration, willing to yield to some questions. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Maraming salamat din sa ating mga kasamahan. I decided to interpolate and ask a few questions to our distinguished colleague, Mr. Speaker, dahil medyo nalito ako nung ang pinag-usapan ay ang posisyon ng Senior Deputy Minority Leader, pero tila nalihis ang kanyang speech patungo sa pagpupuntirya na majority ang may kasalanan. May I inquire, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, to the Honorable Egay Erice, paano po ba pinipili ang isang Senior Deputy Minority Leader?
Well, alam na po lang po natin dati yan, Mr. Speaker. Hindi lang naman ngayong administrasyon na ito, ng mga nakaraang administrasyon, hindi po tayo pumipili talaga ng minority leader kung walang blessing ng leadership ng House.
Ibig sabihin, distinguished speaker, nung ikaw ay naging Senior Deputy Minority Leader, ito ay may sabwatan sa mayorya?
Ang ganito po ang nangyari nung ako po ay nirekomenda na Senior Deputy Minority Leader ni dating Senior Deputy Minority Leader Paul Dasa.
Well,
Hinirap
Mr.
po ako. Excuse me po.
Mr.
Tapusin
Speaker,
niyo lang
I
po
have
ako.
the name Senior Deputy Minority Leader.
Noong 19th Congress.
Well,
Paul
Mr.
Dasa. Hindi,
Paul
nirekomenda
Daza.
niya po ako. Sabi niya, kakausapin niya si Minority Leader Nonoy Libanan upang ako ang kanyang maging kahalili.
Ibig sabihin, Mr. Speaker, ang
Hindi pa po
ating
ako tapos.
kagalang-galang
Hindi pa
na
po.
kasamahan na si
Patapusin
Honorable
niyo
Egay
muna ako. Bakit niyo ako
Erice
tanongin?
ay hindi pinili ng minorya?
But,
Because that is...
kaya nga po, patapusin niyo ako para may kwento ko lahat. Pwede?
Yeah, but can
Kung
I
pwede
can
lang
I
ako.
have
Kung pwede,
can I have
pagkatapos pwede niyo akong
can I
tanongin.
have a direct answer, Mr. Speaker?
I am directly answering you.
Yeah, Mr.
But,
Speaker, my question is
Honorable-
very simple. Napili ba siya ng isang former member of the House? Because that is very
Nirekomenda
unparliamentary.
po. He's putting some words on my mouth.
Honorable-
Ang sinabi ko po, nirekomenda
Session
ko.
suspended.
Okay?
This is my 6th term in Congress. And this is the first time that I've heard that a former member of the House can recommend. Will that be tantamount to dictating to the members of the minority? Because, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I was once a Senior Deputy Minority Leader of the 18th Congress and we chose our officers among ourselves. Hindi po kami nagpadikta at yan po ay katanungan natin sa ating mga kasamahan sa minorya. Well, I'll do laud and respect the Honorable Egay Erice. And of course, I'm very much welcome the election of the Honorable Laila De Lima, the new Senior Deputy Minority Leader. I believe, Mr. Speaker, itong mga bagay-bagay that should be a concern of the minority because they elect the officers among themselves. In fact, our rules, Mr. Speaker, says, kapag tayo ay nagbobotohan, nagboboto tayo kung sino ang ating magiging speaker. At yung hindi bumoto sa nanalong speaker ay nagko-convene to elect not only the minority leader, Mr. Speaker, but also the Senior Deputy Minority Leader, the Deputy Minority Leaders, and the Assistant Minority Leaders. Ang punto lang dito, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I do empathize with the feelings and emotions of my good friend whom I idolize and a very good friend I had during the Aquino administration. Pero ang sa akin lang, Mr. Speaker, we do respect his voicing out. But let me also call his attention to what he says because I am an author of one of the proposals in the anti-political dynasty bill. Ang pagpaparatang na pinataba, ang pagpaparatang na tila minanipulate, napakadami ng ating mga debate kahapon. And in fact, this is still being deliberated. It is still under the technical working group. Bakit po ba natin lalagyan ng mantsa ang ganitong bagay? In fact, Mr. Speaker, I did not stand up, but it is actually out of order to discuss an item that is precisely being deliberated within the committee. So, Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, with due courtesy to my distinguished colleague, naiintindihan ko na ang pagpalit ng liderato as Senior Deputy Minority Leader is something that we should respect because it is the decision of the minority. But accusing the majority of meddling in their affairs, accusing the majority of meddling in their voting or whatever, is something that I cannot accept. There will always be a proper forum to air that. Somebody could have objected to the election. We were not even party to that. But Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, lahat tayo dito ay may karapatang tumayo. Lahat tayo ay may karapatang magsalita. Lahat tayo ay may karapatang ipaglaban ang ating pinaniniwalaan. But nobody has the monopoly of knowledge. Nobody has the monopoly that what he believes should be right. Dahil pwedeng ang paniniwala mo ay hindi paniniwala ng iyong mga kasamahan. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, let us respect the decision of the minority dahil hindi rin nila tayo pinapakialaman. But blaming the majority leader, the members of the majority, for what happened in their change in leadership is already unparliamentary and uncalled for. With that, Mr. Speaker, may I appeal to my good friend and our distinguished colleagues. We have tolerated and even heard all your stand on many issues. We have also conveyed and mentioned our stand on our side. Sometimes magkakasama tayo sa ibang issue, minsan hindi tayo nagsasama-sama. It's a matter of belief, idealism, and being the real voice of our people. So may I appeal to my distinguished good friend from the minority. Please spare us the majority. Kung anuman ang nangyayari sa minorya ay ating nirerespeto. But accusing the majority leader of holding the minority leader is something I believe the minority should stand up. Papayag ba ang minorya na sabihing tila sunod-sunuran lang kayo? Which I actually contradict, Mr. Speaker. Papayag ba kayong sabihing tila inipit dahil mga boses kayo? We have heard our distinguished colleagues here speak up on many matters. Ang sa akin lang, Mr. Speaker, let us put decorum in this House. I was also a member of the minority, then a member of the majority. I went back to the minority and became a member now of the majority, and we always stood firm, debating when we find the reason to do so, defending when it was time to defend our beliefs, but at the same time, accepting the decision of whatever will be the decision of the majority. With that, Mr. Speaker, just to point out, the anti-political dynasty bill is being discussed. At patuloy natin pag-uusapan yon at ipaglalaban natin yon. Let us not accuse any sponsor of saying nagpapataba tayo ng mga dinastiya. And let us not accuse the majority of meddling with the election of the minority, because that is your concern and that is something that should be addressed by the minority. Do not drag us into the problem of your election of officers. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Maraming salamat, distinguished colleague.
Mr. Speaker, may I respond?
Honorable Erice is now recognized.
Yes, Mr. I am not accusing the majority. I'm accusing the majority leader. Because he called me at his office. I was accompanied by the minority leader. At tinanong niya ako, mismo, bakit ako nagsalita ng gano'n? 65 years old na ako. 30 lang yung nagtatanong sa akin. Hindi na ako nirespeto. Tinatanong, bakit ko sinabi yung mga sinabi ko? Wala na ba akong karapatang magsalita bilang miyembro ng minorya? Madalas akong sabihan, ni minority, ito na ilibanan, pwede niyong tanungin. Tumatawag sa akin, si Sandro, nagre-reklamo sa mga salita mo. At kahapon, kinausap niya ako. Sabi niya, Guy, hindi ko na kaya ang pressure ng itaas. Kaya sabi ko, okay lang, para wala ka na rin problema. At sinasabi ko, pinararangal ko na ang papalit sa akin ay kasama ko sa Liberal Party. At mali rin po yung sinabi nyo na pinagdidebatihan pa sa technical working group. Tapos na po. Approved na sa Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms. At ito ay dadali na po sa plenaryo for plenary debates. Kaya po, bakit ko po nasabing bundat? Simple lang po. Ang proposal po, isa sa national, isang governor, pwede. Kung ilang distrito, bawat distrito, pwedeng isa magkakamag-anak. City mayor, kung 7 sa isang seat, sa isang probinsya, pwede 7 magkakamag-anak na mayor. Kung ilan ang munisipyo, kung 20 ang magkakamag-anak na mayor. Kung 100 ang barangay captain, 100 barangay captain na magkakaanak, pwede. Yan po ay travesty of the Constitution. And meron pong karapatan ang mga mamamayan na magalit sa ganitong uri ng proposal na inaprubahan na ng Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reform. Salamat po.
Do you think they were reacting to the fact that you actually mentioned the name of Congressman Sandro Marcos? Parang he who must not be named ba yan?
Palagay ko, yan yung, palagay ko, yung, kaya siya bumaba siya naman nagpe-preside, bumaba siya. Ganon din naman eh. One time when I was criticizing President Marcos, ganon din, bumaba din siya, nagdebate din kami. At
But it was at
napasama
least a
pa kasi
debate,
lalong naging clear yung aking explanation. Di ba? Ang ganon din.
Di ba ganun naman talaga yung point ng interpellation? Lumiliwanag yung
lumiliwanag. So,
Pero pinatawag nga ba kayo, Kong Egay?
yes.
Sa office?
Sa office. Actually, nagsasalita pa ako. Nandun na sa tabi ko si Minority Leader Libanan. May CCTV naman yun. Makikita, may date. So, tinawag niya ako, binulungan niya ako na pagkatapos ko magsalita, punta kami sa office ni Majority Leader Sandro Marcos. So, pagkatapos ko, sinamahan. Magkasabay kami. Pumunta kami sa office ni Congressman Marcos. At pagdating ko doon, andun pa nga si Congressman Ridon, sabi ni Congressman Marcos na please clear the room. Kaya lumabas
Si Kong Terry.
Kong Terry, naiwan kaming apat. Nakatayo siya, nakaganon siya, tapos tatlo kaming nakaupo. Kaya niloloko nga nung minsan nag-speech ako sa Minority Caucus, sabi ko, magpapasalamat ako kay Minority Leader Nonoy Libanan dahil sinamahan niya ako sa principal's office.
Parang see the dean. Okay. So, what did he say?
Yun nga, ano yun? Sabi niya. Ano yun, Kako, yung speech ko? Bata pa ako, yun na yung aking advocacy.
Okay.
Politika.
Ito yung anti-dynasty.
Kasi may kasama
may
part. Lagi naman pag
anti-dynasty,
nag-speech ako, lagi may kasama yon. Dahil sinasabi ko naman na tingin ko yung corruption, massive corruption, ang dahilan niyan ay yung pataba ng mga political dynasty sa ating bansa. So laging yun ang aking advocacy. At that's my advocacy 40 years ago. 40 years ago, when I was just 20 years old, fighting for political dynasties in Caloocan.
Okay. So, and then ang tinanong lang niya is, ano yun? So, and then you asked him, ano
Sabi
yun,
ko,
yung
ano yun?
speech
Ang sabi niya,
mo?
hindi yun. Hindi yun dynasty. At ina-atake mo yung
Yung father
Si
niya.
Presidente.
He actually said that.
yes. So, sabi ko, kung malalim mag-isip, hindi yan atake. Tulong yan.
What did he say?
Sabi niya, hindi, yung mga congressman na nasa labas, lahat sinabi, ina-atake mo eh. Sabi ko sa kanya, yung mga congressman na sa labas, lahat yan sip-sip sa'yo.
So, paano natapos yung usapan?
This is fascinating.
Paano natapos yung usapan pagkatapos ng...
Hindi, sinabi ko nga, ito yung speech ko. Kung may kasilungalingan dyan, kung may hindi totoo dyan, magpa-public apology ako sa'yo.
So what was it about? What was in your speech again about the president?
The 2023, 2024, and 2025 national budget. I was asking the president, why did he allow?
He signed on with the...
Hindi, why did he allow? For 3 years. Kasi kung 1 year, baka napalusutan lang siya. Pero kung 3 years, may kabinete siya, ba't hindi sila kumibo? Ba't tumahimik sila na sinalaula yung national budget? It's the first time that it happened in the history. It's unprecedented. Oh. So, tinatanong ko yung presidente, bakit mo pinayagan? Kasi, para sa akin, hindi ako makapaniwala na hindi niya alam. So, it's just a question of complicity or a question of competence.
What? So, since your mic was turned off, ano yung sasabihin niyo dapat?
Hindi, naipagpatuloy ka naman after. So, diniscuss
yun na
ko.
yan.
Diniscuss ko naman. Wala
That
namang
you were
problema.
able to do that. So, late na pala yung pagpatay ng mic sa inyo. So, do you think that Congresswoman Janet Karin was being unfair with your accusation against the majority? So parang inaano siya because it really
Maybe-
felt like the interpellation was like calling you to task.
Maybe if it's my duty to fiscalize, baka it's his duty to defend the administration. So, I respect that.
Dito kasi anti-dynasty pinagsimulan nito kung Egay, di ba? At least the latest na nabanggaan. Ano bang tingin yung mali doon sa version na lumalabas sa House?
Actually, it's not an anti-political dynasty bill. It's a hoax. At mas magiging malala ang dynasties kung makakapasa to. Kasi
How? Ano yung
kasi yung nakalagay
doon?
doon, pwede one national position. Ang national position, president, vice president, saka senators.
Okay.
Tapos, one congressman per district. Ibig sabihin, kung tatlong distrito,
So yung iba-ibang distrito, iba-ibang unit yun.
oo,
kumbaga.
iba-ibang unit yun. So, tatlong magkakapatid, pwede pa rin congressman.
Sa iba-ibang distrito.
Oo,
Kung may party list,
ay, wala rin. Hindi,
Iba pa yun?
Hindi pa yun. Hindi
Okay.
naka-specify yun. Pangatlo, isang governor. Di tatlo
okay.
na. Tapos,
per province, iba pa yun.
hindi, per province, isa.
Okay.
Tapos, hindi, isa lang naman ang governor. Pero kung 7 yung cities, for example, Cebu, 7 cities, so pwede magkakapatid, 7 mayor.
Tapos
for
governor pa.
one mayor,
May governor pa.
Tapos
pwedeng
congressman pa.
mayors.
Congressman pa. Tapos,
per
kung
city.
20 yung munisipyo, 20 mayor, pwede pa rin magkakamag-anak.
Okay.
At kung 100 yung barangay, 100 barangay captain, pwede magkakamag-anak.
Parang lumala.
Hindi ba ngayon ganun na?
Hindi.
Ngayon, we just take snide
hindi pa
remarks
ganun,
about
kasi
it.
mas
It's
marami.
not
Kaya
that,
nga ako,
ano,
sa akin okay lang isa eh. Okay, isa lang sa bawat pamilya. Pero just to accommodate yung existing system, ang aking bill, dalawa. One national and one local. Tapos,
Makes sense,
just to accommodate. Pero ako wala. I'm the first politician na may family and I will be the last. I'm selfish with my family. Ayoko na silang danasin nila yung dinanas kong hirap. So, yun yung kaya sabi ko, it's actually pro-dynasty, institutionalizing dynasties. And it will be against Section 26, Article 2 of the Constitution.
Ano na bang status nung current?
Pinasanan nila eh.
Sa committee?
Oo, ni railroad eh.
Meron pa bang chance yan na magkaroon ng
Sa
amendments?
plenary na lang. Plenary na lang.
Does the Senate have their own version?
Yes, at malayo. Kaya nga ang
Okay.
suspecha ko dyan, kaya ipinasa yan para magkaroon na, pag sa BICAM, hindi na magkasundo, hindi na may pasa.
Yung sa Senate version kasi, bawal, di ba? National and local.
Saka walang succession, mabigat yun.
Oo.
So, sa tingin ko, ginawa ito para magkaroon ng deadlock sa BICAM at hindi na maipasa itong anti-political dynasty.
Pero kala ko ba priority ito ng administrasyon?
Kaya nga sabi ko,
In-announce pa nga nila
Diba?
eh.
sabi ko, alam ni Presidente ang ibig sabihin ng political dynasty. Why? Because the first law enacted with a political dynasty provision is the SK Reform Law.
Oh, yan.
I'm the author in the House. The President is the author in the Senate.
Senate,
Kaya alam niya yan. At bakit niya prioritize kung hindi niya i-guide yung kanyang mga alay, super majority? Di ba? Ba't hindi niya i-guide?
Were you still expecting this kind of guidance? Because no, I'm not being facetious.
Kasi
here.
prioritize niya. If you prioritize this particular bill, you
Pinasa
should
yan
work
sa-
for the enactment of this bill. Parang yung ICI, Independent Commission, People's Commission Against Infrastructure Corruption. Prioritize niya. Sinabi nila, ipapasalan nila December, nagmadali kami, nag-overtime kami. Pagkatapos, binitin sa Committee on Appropriations. So, hindi talaga sincere. Nagsasalita yung Presidente na he doesn't mean what he says. Sabi niya, magpapakulong siya December 15. March na ngayon. So, yan
Wala
yung
pa rin,
problema.
Si
Yan yung
Senator
problema.
De Villa.
Paano hindi lalakas yung kanyang kalaban kung siya mismo hindi tumutupad sa kanyang mga sinasabi.
Is there truth to an offer for you to run for the Senate under the slate of VP Sara by Sagip Party List?
Baka nagbibiro lang si Congressman Marcoleta. Pero seriously, alam mo may naniniwala ako dun sa sinabi ni Confucius. Know thyself.
Okay.
Hindi ko kaya yan.
You mean,
Bakit naman kung Egay?
I mean,
regardless of the slate, sir, you wouldn't
regardless of the
consider-
slate, I will be staying as representative of the 2nd District of Caloocan. Kung mananalo pa uli ako sa 2028, I'll be running again for
for
Congress. And that may be my baka yan na yung huli. Na ako, 65 na ako.
Bata pa yun.
Paano kung mas mataas? Kasi yung isang nabasa kong article na sinabi din ni Congressman Marcoleta, VP daw eh.
Ay, hindi
lang ano.
Know thyself. Kaya tayo may problema sa Pilipinas. Marami yung tumatakbo na hindi nila kilala yung sarili nila.
Okay.
Pero sobra naman kung veteranong-veterano na yung legislator eh.
There are many factors. Saka siguro, ano naman ako, masaya naman ako sa Congress.
Pero pagtakbo niyo uli, LP pa rin.
Yes, of course. Unless magkawali kay Presidente Marcos, sa partido ni Presidente Marcos, baka mag-independent na lang ako. Kasi naranasan ko yung yung martial law nung kanyang ama. Parang ganito rin yung aking pakiramdam ngayon. We are not in a democracy.
It feels like that to you?
Yes.
May parang pre-martial law fears or martial law-ish fear?
Nung nakaraan
feels
kasi,
you?
dictatorship.
Yes.
Ngayon, what's prevailing in government is not democracy, but kleptocracy. So I won't be part of it.
Them's fighting words.